discuss the salient features of the advanced pricing agreement which India has introduced and about which Brian talked earlier. Before we discuss the main features of the APA regulations and things like that, I would like to just put on the table certain concepts which have been enshrined. And fortunately, the officers have taken very positive approach. In India, it's the method of doing the audit is different from many countries. In many countries, you sit across the tax officer and try to negotiate. In India, it's either or situation. So either it is 0 or 1, a binary situation. So there, the negotiation is normally not there. But the APA is, for the first time, has brought in a system which is based upon the negotiation and then trying to come out with a very settled position. The key features of the Indian APA is that it's unilateral, bilateral, and as well as multilateral. The most significant or the best part of the whole system is that in the process of going for the APA, one has to file a pre-filing application and then has to file the main application. The crucial part with this is that the main application has to be filed if there is a new transaction, then before the transaction starts. And if there is an ongoing transaction, then before the start of the financial year. I will give you one example. Let's suppose company A is for the first time giving a technology to the company in India from 10th of, say, January. Then in that case, and it wants certainty about the payment of royalty, the main application has to be filed by 9th of January. The pre-filing application has to be filed before that. The pre-filing application can be anonymous and can be on the named basis. The best part with the pre-filing application is that you can go and talk to the authorities, APA authorities, and try to understand what will be their approach. So this is a very good opportunity to talk to the officers, try to understand their possible approach, and then finally take a decision. There is no payment required to be made to the government of India at the pre-filing stage. But in case of the main application, certain amount is required to be paid to the government. The downside of the APA, or in one respect where APA differs from many countries, is that there is no rollback. Means a decision which is taken in the APA will have prospective implication and not a retrospective implication. So if one files from 31st of March 2014, then it will be applicable for the transactions happening from 1st of April 2014. But if it is for the earlier years, it will not have any effect. The different phases, the whole APA process can be divided into 5 phases, and I will take you through each phase in a very short, in a very brief manner. So this is the first one, is the pre-filing consultation, followed by the making formal application. The third is the post-filing meeting and negotiation. Fourth is finalizing the APA, and the fifth one is post-APA. What are the requirements? What are the compliance requirements? So we'll go through very briefly about each of these stages. The first stage, or the pre-filing. The pre-filing application requirement is not very elaborate. It can be done in a very short time because it asks for the information which is otherwise available with the taxpayer. So for example, whether there has been any adjustment earlier or not, what is the type of the business, and things like that. So these information has simply to be collated and put in one place. It doesn't take much time to do. Basically, this pre-filing application enables taxpayer to interact with the APA authorities, understand their mind. It enables the tax authorities to look into the application and try to see whether this application is with an intention for tax evasion or not. If they feel that there is a genuine application and the taxpayer is really interested in coming to a solution, then in that case they accept it. There is no application which has been rejected in the last one. So the approach of the authorities is to accept the application and not to reject the application. And the next one is the formal APA application. And this application is very crucial. The date of making the application is very crucial, as I mentioned earlier. This is slightly elaborate, not slightly elaborate, this is pretty elaborate. And the most crucial thing here in the APA application is the critical assumptions. Yes. So critical assumption is very, very important, because subsequently when the tax department will try to see whether the taxpayer is doing the business as it was stated during the agreement process or not, they will look at the critical assumption and see whether the critical assumptions are being followed in the subsequent years or not. So the best way to do is to keep the critical assumption as wide as possible. And what are the critical assumptions? The critical assumptions are, in a way, the force majeure or something which is very, very significant. That suppose, for example, there is a manufacturer. A critical assumption can be that the ratio of the trading and the manufacturing will be in the range of 20% to 20%, which is maybe 80%, or this will vary from 20 to 40, 80 to 60. I mean, you keep that leeway so that, if your business changes over the period of 5 years, you do not go across, you do not violate the critical assumption. So the critical assumption is very significant, and that's the most important one. And in the main application, the functions, risks, and the asset use have to be put in very elaborately. So the main application actually becomes the starting point for the third phase, which is which becomes important for the negotiation, because the officers will go on and they will visit our place, the company's place, and interview a couple of people. And here our experience has been that they don't come unannounced. They first let us know that they will come on these dates, and they will like to know who are the people who are key to give them information about functions, etc. So we have to give the name of the people whom they can interview. So it is a very, very cordial interview, and that is with the intention to find out whether there is functional analysis or our submissions main application is complete or not. So that interview is one thing which the tax department is carrying on, but is carrying on in a very, very friendly, and which shows that they are interested in concluding APA in a positive manner. The third stage is the post-filing meetings. So that's the interaction, and they carry out the functional analysis and they carry out the economic analysis to come to the actual figure on which the negotiation takes place. So this is one stage where in India this has started in several cases. And just remember that this, the process has started only from 1st of April, from 20th of August 2012. And the applications which were actually received whereby 31st of March 2012. So the applications received on 31st March 2013, in fact, 2013 are being processed. So there is a very small time. I mean, by September, it appears that they will be finalizing couple of unilateral APAs. So that's the target which they have. My feeling is that even if they are not able to complete by end of September, they should be able to complete latest by 31st of December 2013. So we will be able to see some APAs. We'll be able to see the approach of the APA authorities before the end of the present the year 2013. Coming to the finalization and signing, this is an agreement between the Central Board of Direct Taxes, which is the apex body, but it has to be with the approval of the Government of India, the central government. The advantage of having this is that the lower authorities cannot challenge the APA and decide not to accept the APA. The most important part is that once it is signed by the Central Board of Direct Taxes and it has the approval of the Ministry of Finance, that's the final body in the Government of India. So this will have a compelling reason, compelling factor for the tax authorities to accept the APA. So the chances that once an APA is entered into is going to be challenged or the officer will not accept it is not there. And that is the reason why it has been made that it will be with the Central Board of Direct Taxes with the approval of the Government of India. Now, once the agreement is reached, every year a compliance report has to be filed by taxpayer. And it has not to be an elaborate one. It should only highlight that the facts on the basis of which the APA was reached has been followed in those years. And that is why I said that critical assumption is very important. One should keep critical assumptions as wide as possible so that we can show to the tax department that the basis on which the APA was reached still continues. Now, I will just talk a little bit about the structure because this is important one and several places people are interested in knowing how the APA authorities are constituted. So the Central Board of Direct Taxes is at the top, and then there is Director General of International Taxation. There are two links which are reporting to that person, to the Director General. One is the normal auditor and the other one is the whole APA authorities. And these two are different. There is no TPO or transfer pricing auditor who also work as the APA authorities. So they have tried to have some sort of firewall between the two. It is not that if we submit the APA application, it will go straight to the auditor. First, the decision will be taken, and only then that will be shared with the tax auditors. So there is a sort of firewall between the auditors and the APA authorities. And the interesting part is that all the people in the APA team are very experienced. They have been involved in negotiation, being part of different authorities, and they have very, very positive approach. That's what our experience shows. You know, the officers, once we file the main application, the officers conduct interview, that is the functional interviews. So they visit, and at times they call our people. Suppose we have 5 people whom we want to be interviewed. So for one, they can come to our office, and for the others, they will invite the person to come to the office. The questions are very plain and simple, and trying to find out whether the functions and the risk which have been mentioned in the application are there in that same form or not. After the functional interview is the risk assessment and economic analysis. So suppose we have put a markup of 5% for a distributor or things like that, then they will like to verify whether that is a justifiable number or not. So they normally conduct the analysis of comparables. Many times we provide the necessary assistance, or they themselves carry out the analysis and finally come to the conclusion for the negotiation. Our experience with the APA authorities have been that last year till 31st of March 2013, 146 applications were filed. Majority of them were unilateral. Hardly 25 applications were bilateral in nature. There were a few from Japan, few from other countries, not with USA, but with USA. There are many applications which are unilateral with an option to convert into bilateral. So when we make the application, we can do both ways. We can apply for a unilateral with an option to convert into bilateral, or bilateral with an option to convert into unilateral. And even in one application, we can say that suppose there are two parts, one where there is a tax treaty and there is the corresponding adjustment provision, that is paragraph 2 of Article 9, we can say that part may be covered under bilateral and the remaining may be covered under unilateral. So all these options are there, and they have been talking and they have been very, very helpful in solving the problem. The suggested strategy is very, very simple. What we have found is that more elaborate is our submission if you are upfront, transparent, if we talk about what actually is, and then give our logic why we feel that it should be like this, then that's the best approach. Because if we don't include any fact or try to put the fact in any different manner, when the officers come and take the interview, they come to know a fact which puts us in a wrong position. That's not something which is desirable. So to have the APA, a successful APA, it's better to have a transparent approach from us as well as from the tax department. Thank you.
발표는 다 끝났습니다. 이제 시간은 이제 예정 시간 다 된 것 같고요. 질문을 하시면 우리 SP 신께서 답변을 드리도록 하겠습니다.
질문이 있는데요. 그 APA 신청 건수가 지금 첫해 140여 건 된다고 했는데 혹시 한국 진출 기업도 있는지?
He's wondering, Korean companies, one of in 100 cases.
To my knowledge, there is none. We need to verify. They have not made the statistics public. So I don't want to guess whether A or B company is there or not. But I would say that the Korean companies, with some of them we have interacted, are very positively looking towards that. One thing was that they wanted to see, how the APA process is going. The other one is that they understand that there is no bilateral APA. So the unilateral APA, how much will be beneficial. So these are some of the factors which are being considered. And I'm sure that this year there will be few from the Korean companies. That's my experience.
You don't know, or to the best of your knowledge, you're not sure?
To the best of knowledge, I'm not sure whether any Korean company has applied or not, because there is no statistics which have been put by the government.
적어도 이제 아는 회사들 중에서는 큰 회사들 중에서는 없는 건 확실하고요. 조그만 회사들 중에서 있을 가능성은 있으나 현재는 자기 알고는 있기로는 뭐 모르는 것 같고 없는 것 같고요.
지금 한국하고는 쌍방 AP는 안 되잖아요.
예.
지금 뭐 70% 이상이 일방 AP면 쌍방이 되는 게 아까 뭐 일본하고
맵을 할 수 있는 나라들이요. 예.
아 거기
맵을 할 수 있는 나라들은 다 되잖아요.
네.
기본적으로. 우리는 지금 맵을 할 수 있는 조항이 없는 거죠. 한국하고 인도, 트위티에. 그러니까 이유는 인도 진출 회사가 물론 이제 뭐 우리나라에 진출해 있는 일본 회사들이, 인도 회사들이 몇 개 있지만 인도 입장에서 한국 회사들이 워낙 많이 들어와 있으니까 맵을 해주면 나중에 이제 이 이중과세 문제를 해결할 때 좀 불리하지 않습니까? 아무래도 환급도 해줘야 되고 하니까 뭐 인센티브가 지금 아직까지는 없지 않을까. 미국은 이제 워낙 힘이 세니까. 좀 그렇고 한국은 좀 아직까지는 부정적인 것 같아요. 인도 정부 입장. 그래.
아마도 이제 여러분들도 저랑 유사하게 그런 근원적인 질문이 있으실 것 같아서 제가 대신 드리겠습니다. 왜냐하면 APA가 결론적으로는 그 소재국, 양국 간의 문제가 해결돼야 진정한 APA의 베네핏이 있는 거 아니냐는 생각이 드는데 여태껏 한 150건 중에서 75%를 이 유니래터럴 APA다라고 얘기를 들었습니다. 그러면 본원적인 이중과세 문제가 해결이 안 되는 상황인데도 75%나 50% 훨씬 넘는 인도의 납세자가 유니래터럴 APA를 지원하게 된 그런 배경이나 그런 컨텍스트가 뭐가 있는지, 왜 이게 그냥 본사 쪽에서는 나중에 규제가 됐을지라도 왜 인도에서 일단 이걸 해결하자 이런 멘탈리티가 있는 것 같습니다. 그래서 그런 배경에 대한 질문을 좀 드리고 싶습니다.
So, what the advantage of going?
Unilateral.
So,
Yeah, it's very important.
Let me elaborate my question. Around 150 cases of all APA filed so far, around 75% is unilateral, which is not really solve all those double tax problem. But taxpayer in India determined to go for unilateral. What is the background? What made them convinced that this is the solution we have to follow?
It's a very good question. And let me put the facts, and it's very interesting to listen. You know, in the APA process, I mean, it's unilateral. The first attempt is to get the best possible solution. And if it is accepted by the other authority, nothing like that. That's one. And what we are observing that the tax department is coming very, very close to the request of the taxpayers. It's not a big divergence as it has been happening in case of audit. Now, if you assume, I mean, what has been conveyed, this question we put to the APA Commissioner also. What is the benefit of doing this? The benefit is that first it minimizes, I mean, double taxation, very, very significant. The second one is that once you have a decision in the unilateral APA, which is entered into by the Central Board of Direct Taxes and which is approved by the Ministry of Finance, then that is the highest authority which is involved. Now here is the decision. There are matters which are before the auditor and before the appellate authorities for the earlier years. When the proceeding is taking place, we can take this decision and share with them that look here, on the similar set of facts, the highest authority in India has decided like this. Now this fact will have very, very strong, I mean, persuasive value. Because tomorrow, when suppose an officer is differing from that, he will have to give a reason why he is not accepting the APA facts. And when you go to the tribunal, suppose the matter goes to the tribunal and we share this with the members of the tribunal, it will be almost impossible for the counsel of the tax department to argue against the decision of the finance minister or decision of the Central Board of Direct Taxes. So in this way, though the APA by statute has no rollback, but the decision of the APA can be used for the purpose of getting a favorable decision in respect of the earlier years. So that's one of the significant reasons why so many of the applicants have not waited to go for the bilateral, but have decided to go for the unilateral applications. Yeah.
제가 생각하기는 오늘 들으신 거 다 잊어버리시고 이거 하나만 가져가시면 될 것 같아요. 지금 말씀하신 내용 하나만 가져가시면 될 것 같은데 다 알아들으셨을 것 같은데 그래도 일단 APA가 되면 이제 유니래터럴 APA지만 그 이상의 오소리티는 없다고 합니다. 그러니까 APA가 승인이 되면 자 지금 APA는 미래에 대한 거잖아요. 특히 우리나라 기업 같은 경우는 과거를 갈 수가 없습니다. 맵이 안 되기 때문에. 과거 문제를 해결할 수 없는데 지금 아까 보셨지만 10년이라는 기간이 걸립니다. 대법원까지 가려면. 그리고 뭐 조사 매년 있죠. 그 다음에 뭐 CIT 있죠. DRP 있죠. 트라이미널 있죠. 엄청난 기간이 걸립니다. 근데 AP를 예를 들면 유니래터럴 우리가 만약 뭐 1년 내에 가지고 있다. 그럼 미래에 대한 2014년, 13년, 14년에 대해서 받았다. 그럼 지금 현재 2008년, 2009년, 2010년, 2012년 계속해서 지금 트라이뷰럴이나 CIT에 다 가 있어요. 근데 아무런 팩트와 비즈니스의 변화가 없다면 APA 결과를 가지고 자, 야, 2008년, 9년, 10년 지금 우리 트라이뷰럴 가 있고 이렇게 엄청나게 우리가 두드러 맞았는데 APA에서 이런 결과를 받아냈어. 어떡할래? 그랬을 경우에 SBC의 생각은 거의 받아들일 거라는 거죠. 그러니까 그 APA를 가지고 맵은 없지만 과거 문제를 해결할 수 있다. 엄청난 밸류인 것 같아요. 예를 들면은 이 CIT도 가야 되고 트라이빙을도 가야 되고 그 엄청난 금액을 받아가지고 돈을 다 지금 내야 되게 생겼는데 그 APA를 통해 가지고 과거 문제를 롤백이 없음에도 불구하고 롤백이 안 됨에도 불구하고 그 가지는 아까 이제 뭐 영어 표현으로 persuasive value라고 했는데 그것이 가지는 효력은 most likely
Yeah.
that hasn't in your view.
In my view, yes.
그러니까 이 APA 그러면 지금 이렇게 많은 회사들이 어플라이하는 이유는 그 유니래터럴 APA를 미래에 대한 certainty도 중요하지만 과거에 대한 문제를 지금 이미 분쟁 중에 있는 과거 연도에 대한 문제를 해결하는 수단으로 쓸 수 있다. 그러니까 엄청난 밸류다 이렇게 지금 말씀하시고. 그런데 이거 하나만 가지고 가셔도 오늘 이 세미나에 참석하신 것은 엄청난 밸류가 아닐까 생각이 됩니다. 질문. To add a final remark.
Yes, I would like to. It's now looking at the volume of litigation and litigation not coming to end. APA is now being looked at with lot of expectation. If you look at for the auditor, their performance is judged by how much adjustment they make. For the APA, the parameter is how many agreements they conclude. So the APA authorities want to conclude the APA in a shorter time and so that it's both the taxpayer and the tax department have acceptance to that. So we are very, very hopeful that the APA in India will be as successful as in any country. The number of applications which was received was more than any other country has accepted, but we are looking forward to that. My interaction with the officers shows that they are very positive in their approach. Thank you.
뭐 아까 마지막에 했던 얘기들 다 하신 것 같고요. 여러분들 와주셔서 감사하고 사실 우리 SBC는 인도에서도 아주 유명하신 분이고요. 저희가 여러분들을 위해서 이렇게 오셔가지고 정말 이 세미나만을 위해서 오셨습니다. 그래서 여러분들께서 뜨거운 박수로 한번 감사를 표시드립니다.